It's a kind of military affair. If you are planning a war, or if you have a battle before you as a military commander, you know you probably will lose a third or half of your men. But you will win, or you hope to win, and to win not only the battle but the whole war.
That's my point. Is the 3,000 dead were seen as collateral damage? I mean,
what came out from the American government, unfortunately, was within, I think, 48 hours. Cheney was the first giving this word, that there is a generation-long war.
Stay there. Stay there. We'll be right back with Andres von Bulow. I'm very thankful that Andres von Bulow is sharing this much time with us today. I want to be clear with listeners who haven't studied military history. It is part of the military history, just like World War I, at some battles where they'd lose 10,000 people a day to just feed troops into a meat grinder. And that mindset then translates into, oh, well, it's better for our people to run the empire and for America's future if we go ahead and kill 3,000 and blame it on these enemies. That's how Hitler started World War II with Poland was attacking their own radio station at Gleiwitz. Governments do this over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. They're very cold-blooded, but to be clear, the people running our country could care less about U.S. sovereignty. They're actually using us as their front. Mr. von Bulow, do you agree that we have this multinational Anglo-American establishment / Israel that are in control of our military-industrial complex, the intelligence agencies firmly ensconced, and that they're using the U.S.'s good name and basically using the U.S. as an engine or as a mindless drone to carry out their activities?
I think you have enough Americans joining this whole game. It's not necessary to blame it on Israel. Israel is perhaps interested to change things in the Near East, and there is a conversion of thinking. But
well, let me stop you and be clear.
The American elite, a lot of the huge amount of the American elite are behind this policy. And if you really look at both parties in the Congress, it's a bipartisan policy. So I doubt whether there is a real, if it comes down to a final combat, that the elite of both parties are behind this kind of world leader, not only world leadership. If it would be wise, I wouldn't have any problem with Americans or the American state governing the world. But this kind of policy, where you could easily buy your oil, and it's not necessary to occupy all these countries which have oil and throw them in huge civil wars which are with horrible effects.
Well, Mr. von Bulow, let me be clear about my belief. I said Anglo-American establishment first, and then Israel certainly is a cheerleader involved in it and lobbying for it. I'm not singling Israel out there. I'm saying that, who is it? It's England, it's the U.S., it's mainly Israel, isn't it, that is supporting the wars that grew out of 9/11?
Well, they are joining, but I think that the main center of thinking about this has been around the neocons with their papers on the New American Century and the outlets for defense. There you have written down what would happen, even the throwing out of Saddam Hussein and all these kind of things. The partition of Iraq is one of the points which they are try to follow. I think now Iraq, there is a day-to-day war going on, or civil war, and with American troops. But the real thing is that I think 5 huge bases are are already built within Iraq, away from all these settlements where the American military can stay for decades.
As Dick Cheney and now, of course, Bush and, of course, McCain say they want to stay 100 years. And you're right. Both parties are for the war. It doesn't matter if 80+% of Americans are against it. They are going to continue that. So that's my next question for you. You have unusual knowledge as being the head of technology, the head of defense, over in intelligence, having all these different hats you've worn, exposing corruption. I would like you to give us your assessment, Mr. von Bulow, on where you think they're going. Is their program stalling? Are they in trouble? Do you think that this crime complex, this global oligarchy, this corporatism that controls our government, do you think they're going to stage more attacks? Do you think they're going to fail in Iraq? I mean, where do you see things going?
I think they tried to fulfill the program, but they are running against huge troubles because the money is running out. America lives at the moment from a day-to-day necessity to get, I think, 80% of all savings around the globe. From Japan, from China, from Germany, from everywhere. And at the moment, the dollar is falling, and people are very reluctant to continue with this. And if you don't have this kind of money, you can only go further with this war with huge amount of inflation, which again is weakening the dollar. So I think I don't know what these kind they are running against the wall probably, and everything is falling apart.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I hate to keep using.
Probably Cheney and these kind of people are thinking, well, if we succeed in getting more and more and more oil land under our sovereignty, perhaps we find a way out. But I'm very doubtful whether this addition is going out.
Well, I agree with your assessment, Mr. von Bulow, that they have a lot of hubris. They're stalling, like Napoleon in Russia or Hitler in Russia. The analogies just continue. Or you can see the United States kind of like the Soviet Union, whose aggression is starting to stall as it did in the 1980s, and its fomenting of revolutions. Where do you see the United States in a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? A. B. Could the neocons snatch victory from the jaws of defeat by staging a thermonuclear, quote, Al-Qaeda attack, or releasing a bioweapon as a way to fully, because all we see them doing is mobilizing fascism, building concentration camps. That's mainstream news. Building FEMA camps in the U.S., San Francisco Chronicle, Houston Chronicle, militarizing police, CIA over every major city. They now admit fusion FEMA command bunkers have been built in every city. 1 in 10 college graduates, now Homeland Security. Basically a rising of black uniform. I'm not using this analogy because you're German, but they act like Gestapo everywhere. I mean, they're really taking over. Face scanning cameras, warrantless checkpoints. They're hiring mercenaries. I see them trying to turn this into an armed camp. Instead of giving up, I think they may just stage some huge event and then attack the world.
Yeah, it might happen. I don't know. I'm desperate as you because I would like to have my old ideal of an open, kindly America, which is competing with the whole world, leading the world with its wise background. But at the moment, I don't see these kind of people. They are at the moment not running the country, and you have, I think, 10 times as much people already in prisons as we Europeans or any European state has. I think Halliburton and others are building kind of concentration camps for the if the situation is coming. And this was one of the main point in Germany. Within a night, about 30,000 people went immediately into prison. and this was the people which were judged by the Nazi people able to lead the opposition against Hitler in the last moment, to organize strikes and so on and so on.